Hey there, good evening everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm King Phi, meteorologist Adam Claibon, here to talk about a pretty wet weekend ahead. And now, first system that we're going to see here into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, not going to be a big rain producer, but it's what's coming afterwards, and more so Saturday night and into Sunday. That'll be some pretty big time rain, and especially in some spots, which is going to lead to some of our rivers getting a little higher. It's been dry recently, so thankfully that should hold down on some of the river flooding that we are going to see with this event, but definitely going to be a lot more active, a lot more wet, and we're going to see those snow levels higher, so not too much snow up across the mountains with this system here as we head on into the weekend. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what's happening here. Big picture. We're looking at the Pacific Ocean, and you can see this long fetch of clouds extending all the way over towards some of the islands there closer to Asia, some of the Pacific Islands over this way, and all the way over here towards eventually the Pacific Northwest. You can see that working its way up towards us. So we got a long line of moisture right there. It's going to be a pipeline, which is going to be part of an atmospheric river that eventually head towards us, and that's going to help to produce some moderate to heavier rain. Now, since more of its source is coming in from the subtropics, that means it's going to be a warmer system, and we're going to allow that to, or we're going to see that bring in some moderate to heavier rain as warmer air holds more moisture, and that's what we're going to be dealing once we head on into this upcoming weekend. First off, we'll get through a light round of rain coming through tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night. Then we head on into the day on Saturday, and that's when a lot more of that heavier rain will arrive. That's going to be with us for Saturday, more so Saturday night, and then into Sunday, where we are going to continue to see a lot of heavier pockets of rain, and even some more rain to come as we head on into next work week as well. So let's talk about what we saw today. Really little of anything, a lot of clouds out there, but rain amounts coming in less than 1/10 of an inch, if nothing really at all coming in some spots. Highs today too, again, we've been warmer recently, but these numbers right here pretty close to where they should be for this time of the year, in the upper 40s to low 50s. So let's look at that forecast, and you can see here over the next 7 days, highs will be in the 50s. Check out those numbers right there at the end. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be trying to make a run at 60 in some spots. More sunshine at that point too. More on that here though in a second. First, let's talk about what's happening here over the next 24 to 48 hours. First system right here, going to be a light rain producer, and we're just generally going to keep a lot of the rain up here across Clallam County, Northwest Interior, the San Juan Islands here throughout the night and for at least the first half of the day for tomorrow. You can see as we zoom out that this system is going to be working its way up towards the north, and then we got some of the deeper moisture that will come in as we head on into later tomorrow night, and then a lot more of it to come as we head on into Saturday with this system right here, and that's going to be making a beeline right towards us as we head on towards the mid to latter part of the weekend. So again, here through the night, you're seeing a lot of the shower activity remaining well off to the north. Let's go ahead and fast forward to tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Some of you having to deal with some showers for your morning commute. Again, Clallam County, Jefferson County, up across some of our northern communities in Skagit, Whatcom, and as well as the San Juan counties. We'll see that continue to move on through, but it will kind of fill in a little bit as we head towards the tail end of the day, and that will be more so into the sunset hour heading on to Friday. So 5 p.m. there, you can see some of those showers moving their way on through. Moderate rain at times, but it is going to be a quick hitter, and then it's in and out of here by about 10 to 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So that's when we'll have to deal with some of the steady rain farther south around Puget Sound and parts of the Kitsap Peninsula. Then we'll head into Saturday, and this is when you start to notice a lot more of this coming together. That deeper moisture, that subtropical moisture, will be heading our way. Some of it around towards the tail end of the morning, but here we are Saturday at 3 p.m. and you can see that we are dealing with a good amount of rain. A lot of yellows and reds showing up over the Olympics, here across parts of Puget Sound, Southwest Interior, a lot of it right there. That's going to be the beginning of what we're expecting here as we head on into the middle and latter part of the weekend. Another thing you're noticing too, you're not seeing as much of that blue showing up here across the Cascades. None of it expected to see over the Olympic Mountains as well. That just shows you how mild and warm this air mass is. We're going to start off with snow levels on Saturday at about 5,500 feet. Eventually they peak out at about 6,500 feet heading on into that night. So that's going to continue to sweep on through, and just check out how long this is staying with us here as we head on into the evening and into the night. And a lot more of those oranges and yellows and even some of those reds still with us into that point, indicating a lot of heavy rain that's going to be coming down. We'll be at the tail end of this first wave. We'll see what happens after this, but you can see still not a lot of blue showing up in the mountains, meaning a lot of this is going to be falling in the form of rain at our ski resorts. And then once we head closer to midnight, you can start to see some of that tapering off. Now, something that we'll have to keep in mind, wanted to show you this right here, how much of this second wave inches northward again, because if we do see more of this, this is going to add to more of the rain totals, and this is going to kick up some of those levels here as we head on into more of your Sunday, because that can bring down some moderate to heavier rain. So the better chances as we head into Sunday, looking like we are going to see that more so farther south. So Thurston County, Pierce counties, and farther south, getting closer to the Oregon state line. So farther south you are, probably the better chances you have of seeing some additional moderate to steady rain into Sunday. The farther north, up there near the Canadian border, you're probably not going to see as much of it as we head on into that point. But that's going to hang with us into Sunday, and then we'll eventually start to see that round make its way on out of here. So looking at the rainfall amounts that we could notice with this is going to be through Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Again, the farther north you are, since you're not really going to be in that second window, you're probably not going to see as much, and probably going to have a little more rain shadowing there. That's why we're talking about amounts only between about 1/3 of an inch, maybe up to about 3/4, 8/10 of an inch into those locations right there. That's what we're going to keep an eye out for in those locations. While areas outside of there, we're generally talking about 1, 2, possibly even up to 2.5 inches in the lowlands. Now, in the higher terrain, you're seeing a lot more of that red and orange showing up. Of course, you get more lift once you get up into the mountains. You start to squeeze out a lot more of that moisture, and you see some of those marks right there, anywhere between about 4, 5, maybe even 6 inches of just precipitation falling down, meaning in the form of liquid in a lot of spots. But the higher you get, of course, near above 6,000 feet, we might see a bit more of that snow, including Paradise. I don't think all that what you're going to see, that 4.5 inches, will be in the form of rain. We'll get some snow out of that too as we head on into that point. And let's go ahead and show you that, because we're expecting to see amounts anywhere between about 1 to 3, closer to 4 inches at some of our resorts. But Paradise, again, higher elevation, could see a bit more out of that. And then as you're farther north, there up around Mount Baker, we'll see when you get closer to a foot. I think that might be held down because of some of the milder air, down to about maybe 1/2 foot to 8 inches because of that. And let's talk about one more thing with this system as it's coming on in. So tomorrow morning, we'll have the weaker system that'll arrive. That'll bring some higher gusts out towards the coast. Could see anywhere between about, I would think, 30 to 40 miles per hour with some of those gusts. Very isolated in pockets with some of those, and not going to see that really too widespread for the north coast or for parts of the Admiralty Inlet, getting up there closer to the Strait and up there around maybe our island communities, Whidbey, and as well as maybe Camano Island, seeing some of those stronger gusts. But it's really more so as we head on into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Here we are seeing some of those stronger gusts. That is where, or that will be the time that we could see some of those gusts reaching up closer to 40, 45 miles per hour, maybe even inching closer to 50 miles per hour. It looks like my clicker is having a little bit of an issue drawing right there, but that's what we're going to keep an eye out for that timing, more so late Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon. By about 6 o'clock on Saturday, you can see this is beginning to taper off. So we're going to see this let up heading into Saturday night with some of the stronger gusts. We'll still see them around 30, maybe 35 miles per hour, but as we continue on into Saturday night, you can see that greatly diminishes as we head towards the morning into Sunday. So a look at the forecast for what we're expecting beyond that point. So Sunday, you can see things start to let up a little more. We get this next system that's going to be spinning out over the Pacific on Monday. That will help to bring in another round of rain, maybe a little more snow this go around. I think snow levels will be back down closer to about maybe 4,000, 4,500 feet. Not all the way down to maybe Snoqualmie Pass level, but still seeing at least a little more snow up around areas such as Stevens Pass and White Pass, maybe even a bit more up around Baker, as that system more so starts to pivot its way up into Vancouver Island and into British Columbia. That'll move out of here, and then as we continue on later to next week, I showed you on the 7-day, later to next week, Wednesday, Thursday, we start to see some brighter skies and some milder air. Well, the system and the storm track starts to head right up into British Columbia, more so even southeast Alaska, up into that direction right there. With that being the case, what's going to happen is, well, we are going to see that High pressure will build into the area. It's going to be a warm area of high pressure too, and that'll help to bring in some milder temperatures as we head on into later next week at that point. So that'll be a little bit of a break from some of the cold and active winter weather that we've been seeing here recently, and at least a little bit of a break mid to late next work week before things do start to change up just a bit more, heading on into maybe the following weekend and into the first part of the following work week. So your forecast here as we head on into the night, dropping down into those 40s. Not going to be too chilly tonight, and we're going to see clouds. Shower chances better as you go farther north. Clallam County again, northwest interior. We'll see the better chances throughout the early half of the day up into those parts. The rest of us farther south, where we are going to see highs in the 50s, we'll see our better chances of rain come in towards the middle to latter part of the afternoon, and more so towards tomorrow evening. And your 7-day forecast, again, your wettest days are looking to be Saturday and probably somewhat on Sunday, especially the farther south you are, southern King County, and more so into Pierce and Thurston counties and along parts of the south coast. We'll have some showers around as we head on into some parts of the day on Monday, and then we'll be really rewarded afterwards. As you can see, highs finding their way back into the mid to upper 50s. I think a few of us might even make a run at 60 degrees later next Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll get something really nice, and I guess being a reward for us to look forward to as we head on into that point. Okay, everyone, so prepare for the rain and, yes, the wind, too. We'll have some river flooding to go along with that. If you're in Mason County, the Skokomish River is going to be a bit higher. We'll also keep an eye out for areas closer to the Snoqualmie River as we head on into the weekend. Some snow melting going along with that along some of our banks of the Cascades, due in part because of some of the warmer air and the rain falling down on top of the snowpack. All right, take care and have a great Thursday night. We'll talk to you later.